All right, welcome to the SEO and GEO or AEO news for week 26. So that's last week. We're in the end of June here, beginning of July. It's very hot in Europe. We've had 9 days of 40 degrees, and the news are kind of slow as well. But yeah, hey, let's just jump right into it with the most pertinent things you need to know right now. So first of all, we've got the Google June spam update rolling out. Still rolling out, I think, right now. And again, if you like and subscribes, I'll post next week's video. If I find any analysis and reports on what has changed, I will of course share them. But people have noticed ranking shifts and changes prior to the update, and they think it's because of the update might have a pre-rollout or something. So we don't really know. And the talks in the SEO community is that Google is trying to tackle a lot of the AI spam tactics, perhaps. So that's going to be really interesting to see what comes out of this one. So I'm going to follow that closely. Here's some interesting stuff. Um, this is ChatGPT. Apparently, most people don't know this. So I knew this for a while back, but it's good to remind people again that it defaults to branded search in their query fan out. So again, you ask ChatGPT for something, it'll do a bunch of different searches, try and gather, choose the sources, and then compile whatever information it found relevant and compile that into an answer using the base model. And that's not a bad thing to do, honestly. What it's doing now, it's referring to brand searches, meaning it already inherently knows what are good brands to search with. So if you, let's say you try to prompt on your main queries, your main product, and you can see those query fanouts. And if it chooses all your competitors except you, it means somehow you're not considered worthy of a brand search in the training data, and that's a really big problem, I think. So that's kind of a big issue for some brands if ChatGPT keeps referring to brand searching all your competitors except you, and figuring out that reason is another tactic. But interesting to note that, and I would definitely go ahead and actually figure out if that's the case for your brand. It's a very interesting article here. Let me make sure I attribute this correctly to Gaetano Dinardi, actually someone I just started following here, B2B SaaS marketing consultant. Kudos to you. Here's another fun one, 25 GEO, LLMO, blah, 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 whatever, whatever acronym you choose, facts that you should know to stop wasting your money. Let's not waste our money. Again, I'm not surprised at these, but I'm also kind of like at the tip of the spear in terms of SEO and GEO here. But I would highly advise anyone who is either fearful of AI or AI has visibly changed their market position, or anyone in between to read these, because these are all approved. I mean, I all approve of these facts. And I like some of them are just no one on earth has proven return on investment after implementing LLM text or schema for LLMs. That doesn't mean we shouldn't add schema. I mean, we still have Google to worry about, and that we still have some there. And I've seen citation rates go up with schema, and I've also seen it ground information. And it's just best practice for other search engines. But again, these facts are really good. So I put them on my fridge, actually, honestly, next to my my kid's drawing if I had one. Here is another really big one here. Let me make sure we've got JH Schach. Can't really pronounce that. The biggest change in ChatGPT that he's seen, and I will agree with that. It's now picking things you should avoid. So it's a pro. I'm going to quote him: proactively say what solutions to avoid. That is crazy. Not my pick. Profound. Again, if it makes sense, right, in the context of your prompt. If you're saying, I'm a huge brand, what are the software I should use? Well, you should probably use, enterprise grade software instead of like newly formed, startups. So in the context, that could make sense. I'm happy because, well, actually, I wrote a little comment here. Tired of being told all my stupid ideas are great. Yeah, it's overly positive, right? I actually want criticism from my chatbots. So this whole like every product is great, they're just different. No, tell me what not to do as well, right? Like be critical. So I think it's a pretty big change, especially for like product discovery and B2B, SaaS, et cetera, et cetera. Great. Now we've got this one. So John Miller from Google explains how AI search impressions are counted. And again, this is going into Search Console, and then there is a new generative AI report which just shows you impressions. But I think the big question is, if I see those impressions in my AI generative report, are they being taken away from my initial, search performance report? Like, do I have to add those up together to get the full impression? And how are they actually counted as well is really important. So this is a must read, I think, right now. If especially if AI overviews and AI mode has kind of taken some of the clicks away, let's say, or you want to try and figure out what's the value of an impression right now, which is, I think, a lot of SEOs are doing because they have value, and we never really cared about them until now. We got the zero click age a little bit, where AI we need to report on impressions, I think, and their value. But yeah, have a read at that. Also, Google deep dives on the Google search generative AI controls. So again, Search Console, there's these controls now where you can decide not to be visible in their AI features. And this is a big one, like, why would you want to not be visible in AI mode or AI overviews? If you choose not to do that, but your competitor does, then they get more visibility than you, right? If you live off people clicking on your website, there might be an incentive to do this, discover traffic, etc. But then you still have the thing where competitors might choose this. But if your competitors, if you know they're also not making money off, like if you made money off something that AI overviews now just plagiarizes and answers, and all your competitors do the same, is there, like, both scenarios are just lose lose, right? So you might as well block Google from actually plagiarizing it, I would say. Almost make a statement. Again, it's a complicated topic, it's niche oriented, it's not like yes or no for everyone, but the controls exist. And the UK, I think, was one of the first ones to kind of make sure this was implemented by law, that you had the choice. So UK is kind of leading the front there, interestingly enough, after quitting Europe. Europe's a bit slower, I suppose. Bureaucracy. Google Search Console page indexing report has been delayed by 2 weeks again. So, if you've seen some issues there, it's good to know. ChatGPT as well is increasingly becoming reliant on product feeds. So this is quite an interesting post here, from Brody Clark. And Brody Clark is the SERP master. Great knowledge, and like I think master of e-commerce and SEO. So yeah, listen to him when it comes to product feeds, and especially how you can enrich them beyond the classic product feeds we used to have for LLMs. I think they could get contextually aware content from feeds that Google might have these. We just need this, yeah, but you can add a lot more stuff that LLMs can actually parse in a different way. It's kind of the main idea I think he's talking about. Interesting here as well. Google Desktop CTR climbs while mobile dips. So again, if you look across the board without devices, you might not see the picture, but it seems like desktop users are clicking more and less mobile users less. And I would agree. My theory here is that on mobile, you just want a quick answer of something. Oh, what's the ingredients of this cocktail I want to make? Or what's the bar? Or et cetera, et cetera. So you kind of want quick answers and then move on with the day. While on desktop, it's where I'll go and do deep research. I will not, I'm buying a new motorbike maybe like soon. I'm going to deep research on my computer. I'm going to have a lot of tabs open. I can save them for later, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to do that on my mobile. And so I think there's just more reason to click when you're actually on desktop. I think that's my theory. And then finally here, this is a French article, but it says here that Google can be judged. Yeah, so I live in France. Google can be judged responsible for the quality of its AI responses, or responses, AI answers, so to speak. That is insane. And again, if that's just for France, and a lot of, again, it sometimes all you need is one country to kind of pick up the first fight, and then others follow, and then you've got Europe, et cetera, et cetera. But like, if they can start getting fined, they will either have to implement strict verification or just remove AI overviews and let the websites that publish the content be responsible. Most of them are probably verifying the content anyway, and then your stupid model is just plagiarizing a bunch of it and melting it together and giving us a false answer that you now have to pay a lot more to generate, by the way. So Google is paying a lot more to generate this AI answer. So you stay on their website. Why are you going to run ads on calorie questions in Google anyway? Just let websites get some of the ad revenue. So you're paying a lot more to generate them, and now you might even be able to pay a fine if it's not accurate. That's going to be crazy. I don't know how the lawsuit's going to work, but how do you even prove that that answer was because you can generate answers for the same prompt and they're all different, so the models are inherently inconsistent anyway. It's a whole mess, but it's picking up steam, and I think Google will have to dial down AI stuff in their search and become more of a search engine. And they should probably focus more on just like getting ChatGPT and other LLMs to pay for them using Google search, which is already inherently, I think, better. So again, opinion piece here coming out. But it's been a slow news week last week, so I'm dialing up the opinion and the theory stuff here. But yeah, that was pretty much it. So yeah, like, subscribe. In the video description, you've got links to all of these with like short description and title, so you can almost share them as an email internally if you want. And I suggest you read up on some of these as well, especially the Search Console stuff and the AI generative controls. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment if you want something different. And next week, I'll start posting about the spam update if I can find an analysis. Otherwise, have a great week, and I'll see all of you next week.